What's up, everybody? Another episode of Around the Bar. Today, I don't really have a drink. I usually do. I used all of the alcohol we had left in this house for a stream that we did yesterday. It was a Fortnite stream, and during the, I think it was like 2 hours into the stream, so many people continuously ask me where the Flycast is, why the Flycast hasn't been uploaded, and even though I say it countless times, and even though, we put it in Nick's vlog, Nick has talked about it on his stream, the questions still come pouring in, and we realized that nothing was really going to get done unless we did it ourselves. So I threw up a stream goal. I put it at $1,000 because I feel like with $1,000 we could get pretty good podcast equipment. Pretty good, it would do the job. It was probably about what the last setup was probably around $1,000. So I put a stream goal for that, and long story short, over the next 10 hours, my chat and viewers and people watching kind of went crazy, and we ended up getting 2.6K to $2,600 in one stream, just raising money. It was insane. It was one of the craziest streams I've ever had, and for that to just randomly happen, man, that hasn't happened in a very long time. I'm gonna go turn down my fan real quick. All right, so it's been a while since. Well, I guess to further that along, ordering the podcast equipment right after we do this, and then we're probably gonna eventually try to find a place to permanently set it up, which has always been the issue. And then with 2.6 thousand, I can get some really good mics, some like Rode podcaster mics. We've got I can get lights too. Now that I think about it, I can get lights, Rode podcaster mics. I can get a really nice switcher or mixer, and then we have the laptops, the Razer laptops. So it's looking good. It's looking up. I hope that everything goes according to plan, and the Flycast gets even better. The stream last night was really awesome. I said it a million times last night, and can't really say it enough. So another pretty cool thing that happened. I haven't had a chance to talk about it. I did vlog it. I've kind of very sparingly been vlogging with this little guy, which I think is Formals. Don't tell him because he might want it back. But that camera is what I've been vlogging with a little bit, and so I don't know if I'll ever release it or put it in a future vlog, but I have the unboxing of the TST neon light, and it's a lot cooler than it looks right there. If you see it in real time, the colors are super bright, and they pop out. But just because of how bright it is, it looks kind of bad on camera. So I don't know if I'm gonna put a film over top of it so that I can hang it up right there, and it'll look good in the back of the stream. But I don't know what I'm gonna do with that. But I think it's dope. There's so much we can do with TST. Especially going into this year with Call of Duty, we thought Team Summertime, just because the very end of last year we started playing Modern Warfare 2 again, and we were really into it, which happens pretty much every year. And we were we're back on boots on the ground. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be amazing. We're going to, people are going to love watching, and we can really make this 3v3 thing, possible. We can make it so a lot of people want to watch 3v3 gameplay. We can have a tournament series on this website, And then the game I don't want to sound like a hater, but it's not good. I don't want to sound like like a negative person, but uh, I'm not a big fan of this COD, man. The maps aren't good. The way that CTF is played is not good. The meta has changed. I talked about it in the last Around the Bar. The meta has changed a million times, and it's just not. It's not looking good. It's not fun to play, especially with Fortnite out. Fortnite has basically destroyed all motivation for me to even turn on my PS4. I actually haven't turned on my PS4, and I don't even remember since PvP went down. Yeah, another thing, PvP. They ended all of their um, they ended their website. I don't know anything behind that. All I know, I found out. Jack texted me and said, "Wow, RIP PvP," and I said, "What?" And yeah, turns out uh, PvP is no longer in business. So it really sucks. I think the PvP website, was by far the best website to use. But I just think, UMG is already so established, and GB is already so established, and I feel like a lot of like the big money tournaments on PvP were thrown at like the same time as the big money tournaments on the other sites, and it's just they were already too established, and I don't know. I That's just my guess, but they're really awesome guys to work with, and the infrastructure of the website it was amazing, and I hope one day UMG gets back to that, or GB gets back to that, because playing these Fortnite random tournaments on UMG, as well as wagers, like navigating the UMG website is horrible. It's bad. I don't know. uh, I, I'm I'm all for, you know um, how do I say this? I never want to be the guy that roasts something just because I find it, unappealing or something, because I know there's so much that goes on in the background of things, just because I don't want people to roast me for something that's going on in OpTic when they don't know the full story. So I know every situation has a full story, but that being said, it's been 2 years, I think, and the UMG website hasn't gotten better, and it's it's really frustrating. I don't even know. I don't know. It's really bad. So RIP to PvP. I think this COD definitely didn't do it any favors. We started out really, really hot with the Call of Duty. A lot of people liked the refreshing boots on the ground feel, but then after a while you realize that it's the most internet based COD probably I've ever played. And there's dedicated servers that don't work, and there's maps that aren't good, and game types. CTF, like I said, CTF plays really weird, and um, there's head glitches everywhere, and the FG is ridiculous, and it's just crazy, man. I don't know what was wrong with the 3 perk system. I feel like the 3 perk system was the peak of Call of Duty, and for some reason, uh, it we like, if it's broke, don't. I don't know. I can't say if it's broke, don't fix it, because at the end of the day, every single COD that has ever come out has people critiquing it and people hating on it and stuff like that. So, but now, realizing where we are now, instead of complicating the game, why don't we just go, back to what we know? It was really complicated with all this futuristic stuff, and then we went backwards and made it way too simple. Like, there's not even perks anymore. It's like simple but complex at the same time. I don't know, man. I miss COD. I miss regular COD, because if they're not careful, this isn't going to last very long. Like, people are going to realize that Fortnite games like Fortnite are free and they're more fun. And more people are going to buy the DLC and the downloadable content and the extra stuff in Fortnite because it's free and because the game is fun, rather than spending $20 on a supply drop that you are most likely going to get dog shit out of. I don't know, man. What was that? Oh, my Turtle Beach just came undone. All right. So with all of that out of the way, I guess it's time to talk. Got a lot of stuff to talk about. And I guess I have to sort of say this. Everything that I say in the next however long I talk, I don't want it to feel like a negative. I don't want to feel. I want to leave all the negativity out of it. I want to be as open as possible and as transparent as possible, which is, like, I mean, I've said it millions of times. I am a PR nightmare. I am the worst when it comes to keeping things behind closed doors. I've kept that. I mean, that being said, I've kept hundreds of things behind closed doors that nobody in the public knows about. But I also think it's fair to explain what is going on, especially if so many people have questions and there are answers, but nobody wants to give them. Like, I'll give the answer, even if it affects me negatively, and even if it affects the perception of OpTic negatively, even just a little bit. I feel like the green wall deserves answers. So I'm gonna be as true as possible. I'm definitely gonna leave a lot of things out that would cause me to feel negative within this, because a lot of stuff didn't go according to plan. A lot of stuff didn't go smoothly, and I've definitely, over the past 4 months, I've been happy, and I've been probably the maddest I've ever been, and possibly one of the saddest I've ever been. So that being said, I don't oh God, I don't even know where to start. Whew. So what I've heard a lot of people talk about, in like Reddit, and Reddit comments, and YouTube comments, and Twitter, is that it kind of all started whenever you guys thought it started, is basically when I thought it started. I joined the Scuf house. I just worked on Vision for probably 3 months, and then after that, I I started doing more for the channel, Smooth Comp, and the podcast, and then OpTic Mailbox, different things like that. And then after a while, it got pretty difficult, especially with the standards, getting increasingly high with how people thought Vision was supposed to be. It became more inconsistent, and especially at this point, trying to balance Vision with now all of these videos that I was once doing for fun, not for fun because Hex said we need to do them, but it was something that I was really passionate about. I was passionate about making content that the the fans would enjoy, the green wall would enjoy. And it goes from that to everything is a sponsorship deliverable. Everything is must be done, and it must be done a certain way. And if it's not done that way, or if you don't like the final product, we're putting it out, and if you do like the final product, it might get scrapped because it's not your content anymore, or it's your content, but you're not making it for you anymore. You're not making it for the fans anymore. You're making it, you're filtering it through a sponsor, and so dealing with a lot of videos and a lot of things like that uh, alongside of vision. I feel like I sound like I'm making excuses and stuff, which is very fair. I definitely could be making excuses. I could have, I could have probably worked a lot harder, but it came to a point where, I felt like I understood my worth, and I understood um, what we needed in OpTic to push content to that next level, while also satisfying those deliverables, and we didn't have it. In the Scuf house, we didn't have a budget for content. We didn't have a team for content. We had Aaron and I with, you know, basically basically hand me down hardware, and we had to make something out of it, and I feel like we did an amazing job. There's so many videos from the Scuf house that are classics, and those there are going to be videos that I watch for the rest of my life. I'm probably going to watch Crossroads for the rest of my life. I'm probably going to watch the first OpTic trivia. I'll watch the Big Balls Soccer Smooth Comp. There are going to be videos that I'll forget, and there's going to be a lot of videos that kind of, I don't want to say changed my life, but molded me into the person that I am today, professionally. And it got a little difficult at the end. Eventually there was pressure to bring on, or to put together a 7-day content plan. If I could tell you guys how many times I've heard the phrase 7-day content plan over the past 6 months, like that's all I really talked about. That's all I really thought about. And it started in the Scuf house. It started in the Scuf house. Jay Hex and I, sorry if you heard Sam raging in the background. Jay Hex and I, we would talk about it all the time. And we would have like the coolest ideas, and we would have the just we knew what the channel needed and what it needed to turn into, and I was front lines in that. I was giving advice. I was writing down ideas. I was saying what I could handle, what Aaron could handle, and who we could pick up. We could definitely pick up different people. And it was at that time, actually, and this is like August of last year, and that's the first time that I brought up Roger, to that we should hire Roger. So Roger was going to originally do OpTic content. He was going to help us out because I also needed videographers. Well, I wanted a team. I wanted a team of people, even back then, that could do anything. People like myself, or people like Aaron, who not only could shoot a video, but they could edit a video. Aaron could do graphics. Aaron could make logos. I could be in videos. I feel like I'm pretty good at gathering up the people that need to be in the videos. So we could do it all. Like, we didn't need one videographer to go shoot and then come back and that's it. Like, we needed a group of people that knew how to do everything. And Roger was the first person to come to mind. So that was like the first time that Roger gets thrown into the conversation. And it wasn't the right time to pick him up back then, because it was more of, well, when all of this stuff goes down and we get the OpTic offices, then that'll be a perfect time for Roger to come in. Then I'm not gonna lie, I'll be completely transparent. I kind of messed up at one point back then. There was supposed to be a live stream that was supposed to be done. It was going to be, I think, what was it, Destiny 2? Yeah, Destiny 2. We were supposed to have an OpTic live stream. And this was around the time that, what video was it? Oh, 7 came out. Yeah, 7. It was around the time that 7 came out, and I don't know if you guys remember, if you watched the live stream of 7, the Vision episode where the guys went champs. But there was, the internet at the Scuf house on everybody's computer it was terrible. I mean, on everybody's line it was terrible. Bose was playing downstairs next to Proofy's room. I couldn't stream at all because it would lag. And then we ended up streaming Vision from Mike's room, and in the middle of it was literally laggy the whole time. And so I tried to tell Hex, and I tried to tell Jay. I was like, guys, I don't know what we're gonna do because the internet here sucks, so we can't have a 24-hour live stream with this like Destiny 2 thing that came out. And I said it, and I told him that, and then it kind of just like faded away, and Hex was like, no, my line downstairs works, and everything like that. And then I kind of like forgot about it. I kind of like let it slip my mind. And then a week later, Jay calls me and he's like, hey, where are we at with the live stream? Because they're prepared for it. And I think it was Turtle Beach or something. And they're like, they're prepared for this live. Are we prepared for this live stream? Because they're expecting it. And I basically said, like, I know, like I told you guys that our internet didn't work. And looking back on it, that was the dumbest. That's probably the worst decision I've made in my professional career. The worst fuck up that I've had. And I've messed up a lot. I've messed up a lot, as you guys, probably know. But, in that situation, I didn't really understand the like future. I didn't understand what was going to happen. So, what I should have done, if I should have said, our internet is messed up. So what we should do instead is this, and give it to Jay, give it to Hex, give it to Turtle Beach, give it to, the people managing the sponsorships. I should have done that. But instead I didn't, and I let it slip my mind. And at the end of the day, what that resulted in is, me basically being told that the head of media position probably wasn't in the interest of OpTic, I guess, or of the future of content for me to hold that position, because I wasn't ready for it. And I understood, and I'm not going to say that I agreed, but I understood where I'm coming from, and I beat myself up about it, about the lateness of Visions, and the not being able to handle some of those deliverables. At the same time, getting back to the 7-day content schedule, I was consistently saying, I need help. Like, we need people. Aaron and I can't do everything. And, Vision was possible to do once a week whenever it was 2 teams and they all lived in the same house. And I would actively say Vision is not possible right now with the standards that it needs to, put together a video covering 5 teams, and none of them live here. The only people that live here are content creators that actually hate where they live. Like, if you guys remember how bad the content was, voice crack. If you guys remember how bad the content was back then, it was really bad, because nobody was really happy. I'm not gonna lie. Like, it was nobody was really happy at the Scuf house towards the end. Everything felt stale, and it felt people kept leaving and coming and leaving, and at the very it was just like the few of us left in that house. And this is before Sprat comes back. This is while before Proofy joined, and probably like a month and a half into Proofy joining, it all came rushing back. So all of that stuff was happening. So me saying, I was actively saying, we need help. We need a team. We need equipment. And I had this idea for OpTic Plays, and in order for that to happen, we needed 5 to 6 PCs and monitors and mice and lighting and cameras, and we didn't have the budget for it. We literally couldn't do it. And then at the same time, we found out the idea, or we figured out this idea for a Big T show. And then we thought, how the hell are we gonna shoot this? And we got like a white background sheet, uh, and hung it up and made the lighting. Try different different lights with the 4 broken lights that we had at the Scuf house, and the 5D, the same camera that we had been shooting on for the past 2 years. And no, we didn't have a second camera, so there was no like side angle or anything like that. So, and I was like, we can't put this out. We can't put Big T talking on a, like, the way that the top 5s were recorded. Like, if you remember the one with Scump and Jack, the way those were recorded was how this like Big T show was going to be recorded. And I had like a bigger, I don't know if my desktop just went off. I had like a bigger vision than that. I didn't want amateur stuff going up, like, but at the same time, like, we didn't have the means to put anything else in. And I would say, like, we need to hire people to come in and make us a podcast room and make it legit, so we can just sit down and edit, or sit down and shoot, and then I could edit it really quick because it would all be right there, instead of constantly moving around with this portable podcast setup. And it's just the 2 things that I've always said that Aaron and I needed were space and a team. And if we had space and a team, we would be able to accomplish this 7-day content plan. And that also factored into the decision to not to kind of like not give me, or to, I don't even know how to like properly phrase it, but I was no longer going to be the head of media going forward. And because we never got to a 7-day content plan at the Scuf house, we didn't even get really close. We got to like 4 days at the max. And because of that live stream mess. And if at this point Jay is trying to work with people to close these humongous changes in OpTic, and then Hex is right there beside him, so they can't really deal with the sponsorship side of things. So it was kind of like thrown into my lap, and I did a really good job. Not to toot my own horn, but I did a really good job on a lot of these deliverables, like the ping pong tournament. I feel like people loved that, and I hope it gets done again this year. A lot of the stuff that was featured in Vision that was like subtle, that people didn't really know was there, but it was also supposed to be there. I feel like I did a good job on that. I feel like the turtle wax video, the trivia video, I think that did really well. And a lot of these things were stressful as hell in the background. In the behind the scenes, they were very stressful. A lot of pressure being put on from a lot of different angles, not just to me, but to Hex, to Jay, to the people managing the sponsorships, to everybody. But as a result of it all, it wasn't. I wasn't prepared. I wasn't prepared to go from this guy who makes vision to this guy who runs a YouTube channel in OpTic to the guy that runs the YouTube channel, makes vision, and is responsible for all the content deliverables. Like, it got to a point where I was like, I don't know if I was overwhelmed, or I just wasn't prepared, or I wasn't mature enough, or I might still not be mature enough. I don't know. But it was something that I was really excited about, and I was really excited about managing, a team to do OpTic content instead of just doing it all myself. I feel like what helps my content, especially centered around OpTic, was always the ideas and the story, the way I pieced it together. It was never the setup, or it was never or sometimes, a lot of the times, the quality was good, but it was never like, oh my God, look at this quality. It was always, this feels right to watch as an OpTic fan. And, that's kind of always what I prided myself on. But, sometimes I guess that's just, if I had had a, if I had had a team of people, I feel like I could have capitalized on that. Be like, it would be really awesome if the Green Wall guys could see this. What can we do as a squad to make that happen? And then we would all, chip in and get it done. So that was the ultimate goal. But so after that decision was made, for me to, I'm no longer the guy. I kind of like didn't really understand what what happened after that. That probably happened. I don't even know. I can't even. I lost track of time. But a couple months go by, and then we're a December hits, and we kind of just pack up and move. And I'm just like, what the hell? And I am then told that in OpTic, the content creators are going to be like a team, and they're going to be under OpTic, and then you're going to be working with a company that is going to be like a media company, and the first thing that media company is going to work on is doing content for Outlaws and the OpTic channel. And I was like, okay, that sounds pretty cool. Sounds like something I could get behind. And so for the first couple months, I'm like working with that team was really just Aaron and I, and then one guy, and so we're all like working together to like figure out what the hell this even means. Like I don't even really know what this means at this point. So we're putting together the the Outlaws interviews, like all of the original Outlaws interviews were Aaron and I. That's when I flew over to flew over to LA with Hex to Burbank and interviewed all the Outlaws guys. Then we did separate videos for all of that, and then put them in Vision as well. And so that kind of like kickstarted. So Aaron and I kind of kickstarted the Outlaws channel. But then I was like, hey, if you want somebody, because I can handle the OpTic stuff, like especially with Vision and moving forward with content. If you want somebody for Outlaws, like I have the perfect person. And so that's how that's how Roger got introduced to the discussion. And so Roger comes on board, and I'm just like, hell yeah, like this is gonna be dope. This is gonna be exactly what we wish for. Then we moved down there. Long story short, I'm skipping a lot of things. We moved down there, and it wasn't exactly what. This is the part. I'm not gonna lie. This is the part where I have to like piece things, or figure out how I'm going to talk about this. Remaining as open as possible. It wasn't exactly what I thought it was going to be. There was a lot of pressure immediately, because as soon as we moved in there, we realized that it wasn't really the OpTic. It wasn't going to be an OpTic office. And I don't know if we were told it was going to be, or if that's just the impression that was going to be, or we weren't really like, we didn't go to all these meetings that Hex and Jay were going to, so we didn't really know what was going to happen in the future. And we get there, and it's not an OpTic office. It's it's an office for all of these other companies, including the company that I was working for, and OpTic, and the company, like 2 or 3 other companies that are working with OpTic to for the greater good. And it's awesome. Like a lot of there's gonna be so many cool things that happen out of so many of these companies. Like Engage is going to crush it. Like those dudes are always working extremely hard. And then obviously you see what GGEA is doing, especially in Call of Duty. Like they're doing really cool stuff. And then Teep comes on board, and so a lot of cool things are happening. A lot of really cool things are happening. But we kind of through all of this, we're watching like the new Dude Perfect offices, and we're seeing like I think at the same time Liquid had announced their offices, and they're just like these dope places with really cool stuff, really modern looking. It looks like an Apple It looks like a Apple store, just really clean and really awesome. And I think that's kind of what we had in mind. And I don't think we were misled saying that was going to happen. It was just kind of like, all this cool stuff is happening. Um, we have access to things that we didn't before, because of all these new opportunities. So maybe that's where it's going to lead us. And instead it led into a bunch of other stuff. So then Aaron and I, because we're a part of one of these organizations, prior to a lot of prior to even moving down, like we had conversations, with people that we were going to be working under. And it was conversations like, so what is about to change? What is about to change with my schedule? What is about to change with, contracts? I'm actually going to be contracted now, and all this legal stuff. And it was really weird. I had to talk to a lot of people to make sure that I knew what the hell was going on in my life. And the consensus was, not a lot is going to change. It's still going to be, pretty task based. That was definitely said. It was going to be task based, and you're going to have. It's going to be basically this is what it was told. It's going to be basically what you've been doing at the Scuf house, but you're just going to have more resources. I'm just like, hell yes. At this point, all of my pride is swallowed. All of the sad feelings of what had happened, it doesn't even, I don't even care anymore, because at this point I understand if I make this content and it's going out on the channel, and I really like it because of all of the new things that are about to come, and the new vibe of moving down to Texas, and the new equipment we were about to have, and the new space and everything. It didn't even like, titles didn't matter, as long as the green wall, as long as the fans were getting the content that they should have been getting this content for, like, ever since OpTic played Minecraft in 2013. There should have been high quality gameplay videos, high quality IRL videos, and viral style videos every single week since then. And to this day, it like hasn't happened, other than, Vision as the IRL content. Still hasn't been any gameplay stuff. I guess this is what I'm drinking. It's like a slush. It's like a smoothie, a coffee smoothie. So, I was excited, man. I was excited about what was to come. I was excited about what we could create. And then something, it was a lot of it's like weird to think back on. It was a lot of brainstorming and a lot of ideas being thrown around, but nothing really got done. And I mean, definitely some of that could be thrown on me. I'm trying to, throughout this whole video, I'm not trying to throw shade. And there aren't that many like negative feelings. It's more of just confusion. Like, I don't even know how we managed to go from the toxic environment with no resources at the Scuf house and make B-level content. And then we move everybody in the same location. There's an office, and then we get better cameras and better lenses, and our content gets worse. But that happened. We went from B-level content to C- level content in the matter of 3 months, from the Scuf house to Texas. And I'm actually mind blown how that happened. I get here, and prior to Christmas, this is still in December, I say, look, in my opinion, because in order to get to a really good 7-day program, we have to have a team, and we have to have space. And right now we don't have space. there's an office here, but the office is not being used for anything content, and we don't have anywhere to make content. And we're doing this podcast. We're doing this podcast with a portable setup that Hex bought, a year and a half ago, and the lighting is really bad, and the camera's out of date, and the arms are terrible. Like this arm right here moves. It can do whatever I want it to do. It can move here. It can swivel. It'll stay still. The arms in that setup, they are like spring loaded. I don't understand. I don't understand. Like, I will actually put it down here. You can ask anybody in OpTic about these arms. I'll put it down here and it'll spring up. And so you've probably seen it. I don't know why I'm explaining it. You've probably seen it in the either the Flycast or the podcast. Like, the mic is constantly moving. And I don't know why, but it's just like it was the worst. The podcast that we used to do with the two angles, and the reason, and I said, we should probably even do two angles again. I would really be willing to edit it up, but we only had one camcorder for the first month and a half, because the other camcorder got packed up in all the Scuf house stuff. So the Scuf house got packed up. There's a camcorder floating around in there somewhere. And so we only have one camcorder, and good thing I brought that. Like, good thing I randomly thought, I should probably take the camcorder and the charger. So we luckily had a camcorder to do that on. So it turns out we don't have a spot to do the podcast. And then, I start feeling a lot of pressure from a lot of different angles to pump out more content. To the channel. The whole goal of this is we got to get to 7 days. That's it. We got to get to 7 days. And I felt like it was falling on me, like a whole lot. And I'm over there saying, like, actively saying, I can't do it. I can't. I mean, maybe I could do it if I worked like a racehorse. But no, I couldn't do it because we didn't have what we needed in order for it to happen. Yes, I could put together a big T show with the camera that I had and the light that I brought and the camcorder that I brought. I could put together a big T show, but it would look like a high school video project because it would be Big T against a white wall just talking about something. I don't know. And I could put together, what else? Oh, vision. A lot of the times, I couldn't show a lot of what was going on behind the scenes, because now everything that's going on behind the scenes was dealing with a lot of people that hadn't been introduced to the OpTic fan base yet, and still haven't been introduced. And, there was confrontation there between, old OpTic and new OpTic. Not me. I just don't want to put out names because I don't want you guys to feel any certain way about things. But people had conflicts of interest about who should be on camera and not on camera, and then at the end of the day, like covering like Dota, the whole entire Dota team wasn't there until recently. Zai moved in, and the PUBG guys like weren't playing, and there was a lot of like little things going on, but nothing that like I could do for Vision. And now there's pressure on me to put out Vision, but also at the same time we got to make the podcast better. So it's coming. People are coming to me saying, "What do we do to make the podcast better?" And I say, I kept saying, we hire somebody. We hire a company, a production company, to come in and make a podcast setup, make it look legit, like super awesome, and we use that for the rest of time. That if we hire somebody one time, spend money now that we have money for a budget, make a podcast place, then I can edit every single podcast in the history of time. Or I won't even have to edit it. I will sit there behind a computer with either OBS or some sort of, program now that, and we could just live record it. And then we can get to a point where we can stream it. And I kept saying that, like, let's do something like that. And then for OpTic Plays, I would say, we need this many PCs, and then we need a space, and then we need it all done in here. And then maybe after that, after that is done, we can create like an OpTic Plays thing. And then I don't even know what to do for the Big T show. So all of that was going on in my mind. And at the same time, there's a lot of pressure on me to make vision. So I'm supposed to get us to a 7-day content plan and make vision and set up all of these different series and places where we're going to produce those. And I felt like, and I would go to work. I would literally go to work because we find out later that, we're expected to be there for a schedule, like an actual schedule. And we're expected to be there at a certain time, and we're expected to leave at a certain time, just Aaron and I. And I think we kind of felt like secluded. We felt like all of our friends, they get this dope content creator, gig, and they show up when they're supposed to show up. And obviously they haven't even had to show up because we can't, on our end, get things in order to shoot anything besides, throwing together a trivia or a terrible podcast every once in a while. And I feel like it kind of made me and Aaron really stressed, and really like we would be angry some days, we'd be sad some days, we'd just be bored, and just what is going on? It was just like confusing. What is happening in our lives? Because we haven't got a space, which is all we asked for. We haven't gotten a team, and our content is getting worse, and still it seems like all of the pressure is getting put on Aaron and I to make this thing succeed. And we're putting in requests for different equipment, and we're putting in requests for space, and we're saying, like, I don't know what you guys want us to do. So it was very, very, very stressful. And then okay, this is have to be and then there was a lot that a lot of that happened. That mind state, I guess, happened for 2 months straight. And it's just sad, man, because all I want in this world, man, is to make content that I know would be amazing. There's content that I want to see so bad. Like, I've wanted to see it forever. I want to see the real side of OpTic. I want to see the sad side, the frustrated side. I want to see the happy side. I want to see the goofy side. I want to see, people being really good at video games. I want to see people choking and everyone laughing, and I want to see viral style videos. I want to see all of that, and that's all I want. That's all I want, and that's all I wanted coming here. And me being so frustrated that we couldn't get it done, and then me saying, we're not getting anything done here. And then people were coming to me and saying, why aren't we getting stuff done? And I would say, I would tell them, like, I've been saying the same thing the whole time. Okay, Davis. So then a couple of really, 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 really unfortunate things happened. You know, didn't see eye to eye on a couple things um, with a couple people. You know, cool people do great things, just in particular situations didn't see eye to eye on them. I don't dislike anybody, but there isn't any like I didn't want that to sound as bad. You know, I didn't want anybody to take that out of context. But some management decisions, I guess, were made, and they were made whenever I wasn't present. I was in Mexico, and it was kind of like a tipping point. I just said, like, this hasn't been fair, and I feel pretty I the entire time I'm upset and I'm mad. You know, I'm frustrated. I'm frustrated literally waking up in the morning. I wake up mad because I know I have to go to this place where nothing's getting done, and everybody. I feel like it's all about we have to act like stuff's getting done, because if we act like stuff's getting done, then nobody's going to question us. But nothing was actually getting done, and then we have nothing to say. Hey, this is what happened. This is what this is what we did, because we didn't do anything. um, and uh, and so that feeling for that long put me in a really bad place, and then a really really unfortunate thing happened, and it put me over the edge. I basically said, it. Okay, this is where I was going with that. I had a lot of pride. I mean, I feel like I'm very prideful in the content that I've made in the past. I feel like I feel very confident that I understand the green wall better than anyone in the world, except for Hex. And I feel like what I've done up to this point within OpTic, it means something. And that's probably the most boastful thing I'll say in this video. But I feel like, because of I feel like there's as much as the green wall likes to tease me and I like to tease different parts of them, there's a mutual respect between me and the fan base, the majority of the fan base, because they know that I get them. They know that I know the history of OpTic. They know that I know what they want, what they don't want. They know that I put different things in videos because it annoys them, but it's kind of like friendly banter annoyance. Like I'm gonna put Bose and Mike on a team in every single trivia ever, even though everybody roasts them, and they're just like, why the hell are these two people in a team together? But I'm gonna keep doing it because it's like friendly roasting. It's not like an embarrassment. It's not like it's you see Bose and Mike and you're like, oh shit, here we go again. Like I feel like there's a mutual respect there, and I feel like because of everything, very initially I could have said, this is kind of messed up, like I'm being I'm being told what to do, and in so many different aspects, and I'm being asked why things aren't being done, and I'm being like um, kind of like nitpicked at, and in my head, a lot of a thought that kept coming up that I didn't want to think was, like this is my thing, like I am the one that wants this done. Why am I still in a position where people are telling me that, why isn't it getting done? Like, I am the one that wants it done so bad because I'm the one that has been doing it for 2 years. Like, you could definitely, I'm not the best. I'm not even good in my opinion, at some things, but I'm good at videography in some cases, but I I know where to stand. I know what to shoot, and I know what to organize that the the green wall is gonna like. I know what they want to see because it's what I want to see. And all of these things were going through my mind, and I kept thinking, if I wasn't me and I wasn't, I wasn't an optimist thinker, I would have been mad a long time ago. There were a lot of times where I felt really, really disrespected because I feel like that was overlooked. And that's not necessarily anybody's fault. A lot of stuff happened all at once, and that is what I kept telling myself is, yes, things aren't going according to plan, and yeah, it's gonna hurt yourself, your pride. It's gonna hurt your self-esteem. But this whole thing is so much bigger than you, Davis. So fucking get over it. And I told myself that every single day. I would wake up, I'd be pissed off, I'd be sad, I'd be like annoyed. Pick Aaron up, we'd go in, and we would both say, it's bigger. It's there. I can't run to Jay and say, but Jay, this isn't fair, because Jay has more on his plate than I even ever want to deal with in my whole life. Same with Hex, and and all the other people that I could go to, I don't really know like that, and so I kind of just like swallowed my pride and but I would constantly think, if it was anybody else but me, especially anybody in that damn Scuf house, like riots would have, like they would have thrown a fit. And you can ask I'm not bashing anybody in the Scuf house. I feel like they would say, yeah, hell yeah, I'd throw a fit. Because Aaron and I were literally picked out from the Scuf house. Everybody else was thrown out over there, and we were placed over here, because on paper it makes sense. On paper, it's the company that's going to handle the OpTic content. It only makes sense for you guys to work there. But in reality, what people didn't think is, hey, your friends are not going to do anything for the first 2 months of being in Texas. They're going to do whatever they want. You're going to be forced to go to this place every single day, and then you're going to be told what to do, and then you're going to, if you say you can't do it, then they're going to treat you like a bad employee. Like, and that might not have been the case. Like it very well might not have been the case, but at times that's what it felt like. God, I feel like I hope I'm not getting whatever. So that boiling point or whatever happened. And it, Jay came up to me and he said, this might not have been the best idea. Sorry, that made me laugh. This might not have been the best idea. And I'm sitting there like, you think, Jay? You think, man? So he's like, so what are we gonna do, man? Like, what are we gonna do to fix this? And I'm like, I think for everyone's sanity, for my sanity, for people in the office's sanity, it's probably best if Aaron and I GTFO. Like, let's, it was very hard to, call Nick in for a trivia and have him come into my office, which was originally Hex's office, because when I first got there, I didn't have an office. I was going to be working in like the bullpen area, which, that was a shot in and of itself. But, Nick would come in for an hour, Bose would come in for an hour. He would come into Hex's office, play music, kick his feet back. And he'd be like, yo, when are we shooting this? So we go, we would shoot it. Nick would leave, and Aaron and I would still be there for 4 hours. It sucked, man. It was bad for us, and it couldn't have been good for everybody else in that office because they're grinding in whole different companies, trying to figure out what they're doing, and they're just looking in the room and they're seeing people just, you know, yelling and playing games and, you know, just acting like talent, because that's what they are. They're talent. So it was frustrating, man. It's got to be frustrating. It had to be frustrating for everyone else as well. You know, working like actual people that are actually doing, you know, grunt work, trying to build up these companies, you know, from the ground up. Like it's got to be crazy. Uh, like we had a kickstart, and we couldn't even make shit happen. So the fact that these people are doing their thing, like hell yeah, more support to them. But Jay said, you know, it's probably best if we get you guys back to OpTic and away from what what has been happening. And I was like, I agree with that. And I said, you know, I pitched this to Jay in December. I was like, you know, what if Aaron and I had a team of people, which is what we originally talked about. We had a team of people and we make content. And I actually already had the two people in mind. I'm gonna these are the only names I'm gonna drop. Wanted Amanda the Jedi, Canadian girl, and she's super creative and she would have a lot to offer. And then Muggsy, I'm sure you guys know who that is, or I'm sure some of you do. He's helped me many times in Vision, and he's worked in esports forever. He's working with Straight Sick. He's working with Straight Rippin' right now. So that was going to be the team, and I was like, if I get those four people, then Ariel, who is the guy who was editing, he was editing for me back in Optic Intel. I was like, if we had that team with Ariel editing online because he's still in high school, then we could. I promise you, we could get to a 7-day content schedule if we're given the space. And I was like, I've been saying this, man, like space in a team, that's what I need. And I feel confident that we could get there. And he basically said, okay, that sounds good. So then I get excited thinking, you know, that we're back, you know, we're back making content for OpTic when we can make a team and come up with some really creative ideas and some really awesome stuff. And with those many people working together, there's going to be all four of us could edit, all five of us could edit, all five of us could shoot. You know, all five of us are creative. We could make some shit happen. And then you know, we meet with some higher ups. I don't want to drop any names, but I respect all of these people. Or meet with some higher ups, and he said they would say, you know, what about you guys just being content creators, and then, you know, seeing, you know, you guys are on the other side of the camera. And then I would say, well, what would that mean for Vision? They would say, well, you could executive produce it, and I would say, but what if I am an executive producer, but I'm not editing it, or I'm not like, if it's better than what I'm creating, I don't want to take credit for it. And if it's worse than what I was creating, I definitely don't want to take credit for it. So then I was like, you know, like what I want more than anything is to have this team, and to have this space, and to have this equipment that I, you know, that I've always said that I wanted. And I feel like at that point, you know, we could do whatever. And then, you know, and Jay would say, you know, you're my bud, pal, you're my bud, Davis. But, you know, in all transparency, like, you know, the one thing that has always been kind of an issue is the punctuality. And then, you know, I would say, well, you know, if I have a team of 4 people, you know, there's no excuse at that point. Like Yeah, I've been making excuses, and some of them are probably very valid, and some of them are probably extremely invalid. Um, but with a team in a space, like there's no excuse. Like we could get it done. I would literally say if I had them right now, we would be at 5 to 6 days to like next week. Uh, so then it basically became, Aaron and I are going to be, we're going to go back to OpTic, reunite with all of our friends, live here and create content. Live, I said live here, but work from home. And then it's basically we wait to see what happens with the future of OpTic. And today actually got word that they're gonna go with the content creation route for Aaron and I, which means that um, OpTic OpTic content, will be handled by a different organization. And wow, getting off the phone, hearing that, man, it's crazy. It's a little bit of frustration, a little sadness, um, you know, um, um, a little bit of optimism. I don't have to worry. I don't have to worry about anything as far as weekly deliverables. So maybe I could focus on something intense. Maybe I could do this Halo documentary that I've always been talking about. And if I get started on that, I feel like that would be amazing. But at the same time, like, uh, it's the whole thing is it's just sad, man. I can't. It's gonna be hard to look back on this past 2 years, and who knows what's gonna happen in the future. I just hope at the end of the day, I just hope that the content gets to a place where I'm just if tomorrow the content is incredible, it's the best quality, it's the funniest, it's in an amazing space. I'm just gonna I'll have nothing to say. I'll just be like, thank God we did it. I might not have done it, but OpTic did it. Um, but I tried, man, and um, I guess going there today, we shot a trivia video, and I find out today that the trivia video is in a permanent location, and I was like, I haven't done anything on the Nation channel in a week and a half, and I was like confused. I was like, what do you mean there's a permanent spot? They're like, oh yeah, the studio, which the studio is where we shot the first podcast. It's where we shot all of the trivia videos. And in order to get access to that studio, you have to go to the front office, turn in your ID, and then you get a key to the studio. Then you go into the studio, you set up, the light and the tripod and the camera, and then you put everybody on the couch. And then when you're done filming the 3 different people, you take the tripod out, you take the light out, and you go give the key back, and then you get your ID back. That's how we've been doing trivias. And then I found out today that somehow they the trivia room, or the studio room is all ours now. It's all OpTics. I was like, what the hell? How? And then I go in there, and the setup is dope. These 2 guys in the office killed it. They crushed it. They did really, really well. But it's also a part of me, this might be the prideful part. A part of me is a little frustrated because I look on the table, and the 2 mics that I put in the Amazon cart are sitting on the table, and the video is being shot with a C100, which I asked Hex for 9 months ago, and I've said I've always wanted to either shoot with a C100 or have Aaron shoot with a C100 and I shoot with a Sony, and then there's a second angle which is really dope. I wish we could have done that in a lot of our videos that I created at the Scuf house. There's a second angle, and that angle is a guy. His name is Joe. He's a super cool guy. He's holding it with a stabilizer that Aaron put in the Amazon cart with the A700 that I have been shooting with the past month on that. And to top it all off, we're sitting at a desk that Sam built in the office. So I'm looking around and I'm like, I get the call that I'm going to be a content creator. And the very first day that, I'm not there, I guess, as a producer, we have a space, or there's a space available, and there's all this equipment that I basically Aaron and I said we needed in the first place, and it had been set up, which I didn't have a problem with setting anything up, but setting everything up at the same time of doing everything else, I don't know. It was just a little bit of frustrations, but it's gotten to a point where it's kind of sad. But I'm hopeful for the future, man. Like, content creation is gonna be dope. I've been getting back into streaming a lot, and then I definitely want to start vlogging and again. And I also, I want to do these other videos, like the around the bar videos, or the relationships 101, stuff like that. I want to do all of those type of videos. But at the same time, ironically enough, I don't own a camera right now because all of that was the company's camera. So and I really want a Sony, because if I do some sort of videography, I can't do it with the camera that I accidentally stole from Formal, which is, I think this is the only camera I own right now. Well, actually, I have a T5i that my mom bought me for Christmas 4 years ago. So yeah, 2017 videographer of the year right here. I don't own a camera though. So moving forward, I guess this is unless something changes, it's complete transparency. Unless something changes, I'm not going to be a part of the Nation channel of producing, which includes vision. Which that's probably that's the only real, like, that one hurts. Like, that one hurts. I purposefully didn't include myself in 99% of visions because I had this dumbass idea or dream that the very last time, or the very last vision that I worked on, before I moved on in my life, I would end it with an interview from me. I would sit down in the chair. But I guess that's not how it was gonna play out. So I'm excited. Working on vision the past 2 years has taught me a lot. I've learned a lot, and I've created so many friendships and so much just so much creativity that's been bounced off of Aaron and I and a lot of people that we worked with. It's been a lot of fun, and I hope that it continues to be that moving forward, and I hope that I'm at a point, I hope that I get to a point where I can sit back and just watch the content from the organization that I've loved since I was 16 years old. I just hope that I can watch that explode and be what I know it should be, and catch up, catch up to YouTube, because we're getting smoked right now. And I think I think there's a lot of cool things I could work on. I'm really excited to do to do content. I don't think you're not going to see me on the Nation channel ever. I'd like to do like documentaries, like a what a closer look could be. Like different things, like little tiny documentaries. I'd love to do those. And I've had the go to do those on my own time as well, and then put them up on the Nation channel whenever, and then it would be a Hitch project up on the Nation channel, and I think that would be awesome, and I'm excited about that. But everything legitimate, as far as I don't know if you can hear that, but Sam is freaking out. She just said, "I want to rip the keys out of my keyboard." That's what I heard. So as far as everything legitimate, everything that has a deliverable behind it, everything that is being used to hit a 7-day model, Aaron and I are not going to be a part of that because none of that. None of the responsibility falls on us. So giving us that responsibility wouldn't make sense. So that's where we are right now. I know I've been very distant. I know I've been very bitchy on Twitter, and I apologize for that because it's hard not knowing the whole story. But you know how I am. Anybody who's watched my content for a while, I get sort of emotional sometimes. But yeah, the future will be fun. Content will be a daily thing, and thank you. Everybody watching this video, everybody who supported me, especially all the green wall. Thank you. You absolutely have changed my life, and I hope that I am able to continue to, show that to you guys. So that is going to do it for Around the Bar. I hope you enjoyed your Smoothie King, because I definitely enjoyed mine an hour ago when I was drinking it. So, peace, guys.